The idea that Adam is going to return to the Valley of Adam-on-Diamond is very much a part of Mormon doctrine. Mormons also believe, at least it's been taught by Mormon leaders, that Jesus himself will return to Adam-on-Diamond. This is an area located just north of a town called Gallatin, Missouri, in western Missouri. If you were to go to Gallatin, there's a plaque there that talks about the Mormon belief in Adam living in this particular area of the world.
Let me just read a little section out of Gospel Principles, a book that is published by the Mormon Church, has basic, simple Mormon doctrine in it, the basic things that I think most Mormons believe and most Mormons understand that the Church believes. And this is the section on page 268. Near the time of the coming of Jesus, the faithful saints will build a righteous city, a city of God called the New Jerusalem. Jesus Christ himself will rule there. The Lord said the city will be built in the state of Missouri in the United States. It's just basic Mormon doctrine.
According to Joseph Fielding Smith, the 10th president of the Mormon Church, in his book, Answers to Gospel Questions, he says, the coming of Christ at Adam-on-Diamond. Daniel speaks of the coming of Christ, and that day is near at hand. There will be a great gathering in the valley of Adam-on-Diamond. There will be a great council held. The Ancient of Days, who is Adam, will sit. The judgment, not the final judgment, will be held, where the righteous who have held keys will make their reports and deliver up their keys in ministry. Christ will come and Adam will make his report. At this council, Christ will be received and acknowledged as the rightful ruler of the earth. Satan will be replaced. Joseph Fielding Smith, in another volume of his book says, Daniel speaks of Adam as the Ancient of Days. In this dispensation, the Ancient of Days will sit in the valley of Adam-on-Diamond, and the judgment will be set. Christ will come, and the kingdom will be turned over to Christ, and he will be sustained in his calling as King of Kings and Lord of Lords. That's volume 1, page 106, Doctrines of Salvation.
In Mormon theology, the doctrine about God is most succinctly stated in the Doctrine and Covenants. And the Doctrine and Covenants is regarded by Mormons as Scripture, equivalent or even superior to the Bible. So you can't say that it's not an authoritative statement. And what it says there is that God, the Father, has a tangible body of flesh and bones, as tangible as a body of flesh and bones as tangible as the Son, and that both of them are regarded as having physical bodies.
The Mormon Church teaches that God the Father is an exalted man. He has a tangible body of flesh and bones, just like ours. We're created in His image, therefore He must look just like us according to the Mormon doctrine. And here again, I'll refer to the same book, Gospel Principles. This is basic Mormon doctrine. Virtually every Mormon knows this. When Joseph Smith had his first vision, he saw two guys standing there. And most Mormons will go to that when you ask them this question, but what kind of a being is God? Because we are made in His image, we know that God has a body that looks like ours. His eternal spirit is housed in a tangible body of flesh and bones.
In September of 2006, Henry Eyring, who's a Mormon apostle, was giving a talk in a speech that he gave called Gifts of the Spirit for Hard Times. He said, I bear you my witness that God the Father lives, a glorified and exalted man. So the teaching is still there.
For them, matter itself is a spiritual thing. Spirit is a material thing. They regard, and Joseph Smith even taught in the Doctrine and Covenants, he says there's no such thing as immaterial matter. He said that all matter and spirit itself is matter, but it's a pure kind of matter that you can't see it with your normal eyes, but you will one day have a glorified body, and you will be able to see that it is in fact actually matter. And so for Mormonism, God is an altogether corporeal being. There's no such thing as a exalted God without or apart from His body.
The idea that God is a glorified human was taught by Joseph Smith. Joseph Smith made it very clear that God Himself was once as we are now, and as an exalted man sits enthroned in yonder heavens. He lives near a star or a planet, depending on which Mormon leader you listen to. It's been described both ways, but a place called Kolob. And so they do believe that he is a human just like us. If Joseph Smith said God himself was once as we are now, well, what are we now? Obviously, we have skin, we have hair, we have fingers, we have toes, we have eyes, we have a mind to reason. If those words have any meaning at all, you would have to draw the conclusion that God was once a human like us. There's no escaping that.